Hey, real quick, I know surveys are so fucking annoying, but if you could do me a favor, we have a survey. The link is in the description. When you do the survey and put your email address in, you will be registered for a $25 gift card. We are just trying to get a pulse on what you think about the show and what you like or dislike and what kind of gig work you're doing. Not very many questions. Please fill it out. Larry and I would be forever grateful. Peace.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello. Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast, episode 293. My awesome co-host, Larry. How's it going, Larry?
Yeah, doing well. Just down here trying to stay healthy. COVID is running rampant through my family, and so I'm like dodging, bobbing, and weaving, trying to stay healthy, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's no good when stuff starts running through your family because it's like, geez, Louise.
Yeah. I think there's about 8 members of my extended family that have it right now, and we've all been around each other. So
that's crazy. Give me a second here because I forgot to pull up TikTok. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I forgot.
Yeah, no problem. I was just thanking Bubba Sue she was sending me prayers in the chat there for the family.
Oh yeah, for sure. That sucks when that stuff goes through your family. I mean, knock on wood, yeah. We had like almost a clean winter of nothing.
Really? That's nice. Yeah. And, I'm not too worried about me, but my mom's, she's already in the hospital.
Right.
And, for other stuff. And she's 84. And then my brother-in-law is a kidney transplant patient. So he is very immune compromised already.
For sure.
And him and my sister had never had it. They'd never had
crazy.
COVID until now.
Crazy. All right. So stories from the road. I see you have none.
Yeah, I was at the hospital.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I did go out. I want to share some terrible requests I got.
Okay.
And it's kind of interesting. These are Uber trips. So this one started out like this. It was a package for $88.10, and it's like 170 miles for $88.10. So if you notice the St. Clair Shores, right? So I got that. And then, no, that's a different one. And then all of a sudden I got a ride request, the same city. So it's like, I think he tried to start he did the package one, maybe did it wrong. But that one only went up like $4 or $5 for the same distance. Like one was a package and one was a person. So that's a little messed up. And then, again, St. Clair Shores. Now I got an Uber. I think this is like the same person, but they just all were different things. Like this was priority pickup. So like they kept like requesting different things and then deciding, well, that's not going to work and stuff like that. The stuff on the top is from DoorDash. This is just like how it pops up when you're not in the app. If you're on Android, it does that. But, yeah, so, and then, yeah, I got this one too. This one, 131 miles for $73. Like, what the frick? Isn't that crazy?
That's disgusting is what that is. That's obscene.
$73.
Yeah. And you still got to come back.
I know. That's 131 miles one way.
Yeah. That is nuts. Yeah. I mean, I won't even go to Nashville. That's, like 65 miles for 73.
Yeah, that was terrible. Also had a weird Spark, 2 deliveries that I had. They ended up being like $45 or $50 for both of them. Like I rarely see shit that high.
Yeah.
On Spark. I mean, I'll get like a $35, $32, but never in the $45 to $50. So I did 2 of those. And they were big. I mean, a couple of them were giant orders, but they did tip well. But one of the ladies, I get there, so there's an apartment complex by us, and it's the same address, but it has two. So like the building has the same address, but it has two entrances. Okay, and I never know if the higher number like apartment 312 is on the right or on the left. I guess ideally, if you would look at it logically, it would go left or right. I never thought about that till just right this second. But anyways, so it was like $300 worth of groceries. It was a big order. So I go to the first one. Usually what I do is I grab a couple of things, nothing heavy, go up the stairs. Of course, it's the wrong one. This kid yells at me, "Hey, those are our groceries." Now, mind you, third floor, no elevator. And so up the stairs, and I'm like, "Well, this is for room. This is 311. Like, is this, are you there?" And he didn't really say anything. Whatever. I just ignored him. So I walked down there all the way through because you can still connect to it. Walked all the way through, and then his mom's huffing and puffing behind him, and apparently they were trying to chase me down because they were coming to help, which I thought was amazing. So ended up going to the other side, moving my car over, and they helped, right? The kid and the mom. And then she's like handing me $5 cash too. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much." I was like, please don't give me that though. You guys helped. Like, she's like, "Nope, I want you to have it."
Yeah, that's nice, man. That's cool when one, that they're willing to help, but then to tip you on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, the help, I was like, I wanted to go, like, you're trying to flip shit, and the help would have been just fine for me. So yeah, it was a kind of a I went out in the evening, and it was like 3.5 hours. I got two of those big ones and like $30 on DoorDash and nothing on Uber, obviously. And so I ended up making like $120 in like less than 4 hours on a Sunday night. So
that's not bad for a Sunday night.
No, I'm not at all. Not at all. Yeah, that's it. Nothing exciting happened other than getting an extra $5 cash. I was like a pig in shit. I was just like, it's only $5, but like someone actually acknowledged the hustle and it was still willing to pay. I don't know. It was just kind of nice.
Yeah. It's nice when those things happen unexpectedly.
For sure. All right, gig economy in the news. A lot of articles tonight, so bear with us. Not a lot of videos. I can't believe this is happening. Well, it's not been confirmed, but Uber is exploring a subscription model for their drivers. It says, this is from Yahoo Finance, because every other fucking site is a paywall. I wish we could figure a workaround for that, but anyways, I'm sure there's a way. I just don't know. So Uber could be signaling a deeper push into subscription-based models for drivers as competitive pressure builds across the ride-hail market. A recent job posting indicates the company is seeking a New York-based product manager to design and execute new subscription package for drivers and couriers. The role also involves building a global testing expansion strategy while assessing how the model may evolve depending on how competitors respond. So Uber has already induced, the move suggests Uber may be examining alternatives to its long-standing commission-based structure, where the company takes a percentage of each ride. Uber has already introduced a flat rate system for drivers in India, which I didn't know, following the growth of local rival Rapido. Maybe we did talk about this. I remember that Rapido app.
Yeah, I remember that name, and yeah, I guess it must be such a good app that it's giving them some competition,
which is great.
Because one thing we know is they're not going to do it unless it helps them,
right? Or if they're losing market share,
right?
They're gonna innovate. In the U.S., the ride-hailing app Empower, so they get mentioned in this, which I thought is interesting, has also gained traction by promoting rides that cost about 20% less, partly by placing drivers on the subscription plan rather than collecting commissions. So I just talked about how Gridwise showed rideshare prices rose 9.6% in December compared with the year earlier, and the platform fees climbed 33%. Over the same period, gross driver pay increased 3.6%. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm actually kind of excited to see what they would offer as a subscription. The Gig Economy Podcast will be back after a quick break.
All right, real quick. If you drive or deliver, you already know the apps are basically the bosses now. DoorDash, Uber Eats, rules change overnight, pay disappears, and somehow it's always our fault. That's why we started the Gig Economy Podcast. Real talk about what's actually happening, how to protect yourself, and how to make more without burning out. If you want to support the show, we've got a Patreon. It's just $3 a month, ad-free episodes, early access, and bonus content with real gig tips. Higher tiers get merch, live Q&As, and even coaching. Because let's be honest, the apps aren't helping you. If you're tired of playing their game, come hang with us. Patreon.com/thegigacon podcast.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. And I'm sure they'll try different price points, and you wonder if it'd be, it's going to be the same everywhere, or if it'd be different depending on what market you're in.
I'm trying to think about if we remember talking about Empower, but I feel like they had like 3 different tiers, and I think one of them was like, wasn't it like $500 a month, something like that? I remember it being a little steep. Like sticker shocky.
Yeah.
And I think $100 a month gave you a certain amount of rides or something like that. Or maybe that was another one we talked about. But
yeah, we've talked about so many.
I know. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited just to see what they offer. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be good for anybody that's not full-time, or unless they offer the tiers, like if you're like super part-time.
I think they'll have to, because so many of the drivers are part-time.
Yeah.
They can't, if they change it to something that would only work for full-time, they would lose significant amount of their workforce.
Yeah, for sure. And maybe they're not going to force you to do it. Maybe they'll just
give you,
it's an option.
Give you offer. Yeah, you can do a subscription where you don't, we're not taking any out of every ride, or you can stay on the plan that you're on now where we take a commission.
But here's another thing. Like, it's just another thing we're going to have to fucking try to figure out, because it's not going to be a benefit to the driver, mate. I mean,
probably not.
Yeah. I mean, it might have a slight benefit, like having the higher diamond tier gives you a few little perks. It may have something like that, but I don't know. I can't see that it being such an advantage over the regular way that they would just do that. But I don't know.
Yeah, even though in the article it mentions, it's a way to give drivers more money. Yeah.
All right. Fox News talks about a Tesla builds a no steering wheel. Now what? I think, is that for their robotaxi, or is that for the regular car?
Robotaxi. They built the first one, rolled off the floor at the factory in Texas.
Okay.
So yeah, it's their new robotaxi. It's a 2-seater, has no steering wheel, has no pedals. It's a different design. It's kind of got the gull wing door. Like a, kind of like the old, what DeLorean had, I guess.
Yeah.
It's designed to operate as a fully autonomous taxi, and it runs on Tesla's full self-driving system. So there's no manual override. If the software fails, there's nothing that, passenger or a police officer can't come in and get behind the wheel and move it, like we've seen with the Waymos. Just last week we played a video where, they were trying to do that because the Waymo was stuck across the road. You're not gonna be able to do that in this. There's no pedals, there's no steering wheel. So yeah, and unlike the other autonomous cars like Waymo and some of the others, Tesla does not use LiDAR. It uses camera-based system powered by a neural network. So he's coming about it a different way. The car's going to have about 200 miles of range, inductive charging. Target price is under $30,000, and they're really kind of targeting the same market as Uber and Lyft, but it says private ownership may be possible.
Yeah, I mean, if they're throwing a price out there, then they're looking for people to buy it.
Yeah, and then also, but one big thing, right now, the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard in the United States requires vehicles to include basic driver control. So a car that doesn't have a steering wheel, doesn't meet that. So Tesla says they're reportedly seeking an exemption for their Cybercab.
I also heard it's really, really expensive to insure a Tesla because it's hard to repair, I guess someone said. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but Can you imagine having one of those as a homeowner and like you're using it for a business? I mean, the insurance would it even be worth the insurance, on that? So I don't know. That's what I've heard about Tesla. Get Josh in here.
I need Josh to tell us how if it's a lot more expensive. So it says he's using a different manufacturing strategy, which is called an unboxed manufacturing strategy. Instead of a traditional linear assembly line, they build modules separately before bringing them together in late in the production process. It says, in theory, this reduces factory space and accelerates the amount of output you can have. He suggested a potential cycle time of one vehicle every 10 seconds.
What?
Is that wild?
Is it because of the way he's doing it that's not even possible?
Well, one coming off the line every 10 seconds.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking like he put it all
together.
The
car together in 10 seconds. Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of the body work on those Teslas. It doesn't, that wouldn't surprise me.
It kind of looks like it took about 10 seconds, doesn't it? Like, man, there's no quality control here.
So they're not the first one to have no pedals, right? That Zook doesn't have any pedals or steering wheel either, right? But that's more of a taxi. The one in Vegas. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it does. I kind of think that was the one we were talking about. I could be wrong, but
let's see. Does it have a steering wheel? No, they do not have a steering wheel, pedals, or even a driver's seat.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought when we talked about. So it's kind of the same thing. But, we've never really talked about, or they've even, maybe we did talk about it, but like what software or what equipment are they using? Because it's like a totally separate company from Waymo and Tesla. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's owned by Zook's owned by Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty positive. I think we talk about that in another story later tonight.
Yeah, but you talked about like the different Tesla uses cameras and then Waymo uses the LiDAR.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious what the other one is. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying it. Yeah, you're right. You kind of lose the access of overpowering it. But honestly, if that's going to be the case, you're going to have staff that can intervene, and we'll talk about that a little. Well, probably my next article, I think. That when that shit happens, because if police officers or public safety can't move it, that's a huge problem.
That is going to be unless you got your stuff perfect,
and that's
it's going to be a big problem. Yeah, it is impossible. Yeah, I wonder if the Zoox has gotten an exemption as well. Or like you said, maybe just because they go like on a set, almost like a track, a set pattern or something, that maybe they got an exemption for that.
And you don't hear anything about anything happening with them. It's always Waymo.
Although as we'll talk, one of our articles we'll talk later, Zoox is getting into the rideshare.
Interesting
game as well in a couple of cities, it looks like.
Okay, so right back into Waymo. So we talked about this several times about the school bus stopping. When Waymo autonomous vehicle in Austin so this is what happened. They contacted a remote assistance in Michigan. Why you got to throw Michigan on the bus? A human to ask if the school bus in the next lane was signaling for drivers to stop. The agent wrongly replied no.
Oh,
so the car passed. So it must have sent a ping to them, and it was kind of stuck. And so they said no. But how are you not fucking? A human must have looked at the camera. How did you not what? Actually, it doesn't surprise me because I literally had somebody run my reds today in a residential neighborhood.
Yeah, but I mean that's a little different. If your job is to tell you're a safety person on an autonomous vehicle. You're not, it's not like you're in a hurry to get somewhere like somebody that's just passing a school bus because they're being a jerk about it. That's bad. That's bad that somebody gave the go ahead for them to pass a school bus.
Yeah, the video said the bus was displaying red strobing lights at the time and had 2 stop signs sticking out. How do you go and see that and go, oh, yeah, go ahead?
That's just a little vague. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do here. You know?
I'd be curious to look up that person, that agent, and then were they even fucking looking, or they were just like, it's fine, go ahead. Like, you know, you're on your phone on TikTok and you're supposed to be working and you're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but if they're coming on and saying, hey, can you look at this? It's a bus. I don't know if I'm surely, you know, I mean, how lazy do you have to be not to take a look and go,
I mean, you just got
a bus. Yeah, don't go. Or even if I didn't look, I would probably say, yeah, you got to wait a minute.
Yeah. Even if I want to finish my TikTok video.
That's right. Yeah, just wait a minute. You'll be good.
Looks like buses, they said that the Waymo illegally passed stop school buses more than 20 times that year. My guess it was 2025. And so Waymo is party to the NTSB investigation, has also met with Austin ISD to run tests along its bus fleet and collect data on light patterns and conditions. The company said in January it had seen material improvement in performance since the software update. So let's see. According to Waymo, there are approximately 70 remove assistant agents on duty worldwide. The agents do not continuously monitor vehicles, but instead respond to specific requests for information from the automated driving system. So
I wonder if that's a boring job.
Well, yeah, you're just waiting for the Waymo to ping you, and you know. But here's the thing: like, why do you got to work with the buses and the patterns? Like, these patterns have been around since probably the 50s.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand it if you're having to call remote assist because there's some temporary construction here. It's not clear where you're supposed to go, something like that. But yeah, a big yellow bus with red flashing lights, that's pretty standard. Pretty standard.
I do understand as a regular driver, I'm not going to throw everyone under the bus. There are different rules for different roads. And it all depends what city you're in. So it gets complicated. But if you don't know, just stop. I mean, you're better safe than sorry, right? Just slow down and stop if the reds are out. Not for the hazard lights, the reds. If the reds are out, stop. Because like if it's a divided highway, you don't have to, like at least in Michigan and on the other side, doesn't have to stop. But you know, trust me, if you stop and you're wrong, somebody's going to let you know with their horn. Don't you worry about that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of ridiculous. But you know, the car did everything right, and then the human fucked it up. So,
well, that was pretty smooth, man. I saw what you did there. I'm not going to throw everybody under the bus.
I didn't even try to do that.
I know.
Sometimes I will catch it, and I'm like, pun intended.
Yeah. We'll give you credit.
All right. Larry talking about, again, it's not a huge article, but the woman preference expands nationwide.
Yeah, so this is something that they've tested in a few markets, and they went ahead and rolled it out. So what it is, and they did it on International Women's Day.
Yay!
So, that was pretty good timing there. So expanded nationwide. So what it does is, with women preferences, women riders can request a ride on demand by selecting women drivers when they order a trip. You know, if the wait time is going to be longer than they want, they can always opt for another ride that has a faster pickup that may have a male driver. You can reserve a trip with a woman driver in advance. You can also set a preference for a woman driver. While it's not guaranteed that turning that preference on will give you a woman driver, it increases your chance. Women drivers can also toggle on a preference to receive trip requests from women riders, giving them, a little more probably peace of mind when they're out driving. And also available for teens. So in the cities where, the teen accounts, which I think those are pretty well nationwide as well. Wherever those teen accounts are available, teens and their parents can request women drivers for both on demand and reserving in advance, reserved trips, which I can see these horn dog teenage boys putting that on their account, I mean, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
So yeah, it's just another thing they're doing to it looks good on them. It's not that hard to program. Oh my goodness. Ken Holland just came on. Sorry. I want to say shout out to him. He's a guy I was in the National Guard with another lifetime ago. Good friend of mine. Nice. So yeah, it's just another trip preference that you can have that kind of gives them, because we're always telling, people, if you're a woman, don't be a driver because you're going to put up with so much stuff. I've told all, you get these college kids in there all the time. Like, oh, I think I'm going to I thought about driving for Uber for a while. I'm like, do food delivery. You don't have to deal with people because you're going to get hit on as a driver constantly. You're going to get groped, grabbed. It's just not good.
No, I hate to be like that guy. Like, and we're not saying it because we don't think you can do the job. We just know.
No, you can do the job.
Yeah,
you're just going to put up with a bunch of crap.
Yeah, we put up with it, and we're men, and it's just bad. So
yes.
Well, it's again, they should have done this a long time. I know they didn't want to do it because it ends up not. Some people wait for rides because blah blah blah, and they only care about the almighty dollar. But
yeah, they want those people picked up just as fast as they can.
Yeah. And that's, I get that, but like you should have offered it a long time ago. So
yeah.
All right. So LA, the city of fees, I call it, is considering a proposal Tuesday to increase the rideshare, the fees for rideshare companies. And I read it and I did highlight a few things, but it's fucking annoying. So apparently they're building so right now it's $4 to $5 fee that gets passed along to the customers, of course. You can see it on your receipt for the LAX airport surcharge. They're voting to increase that fee as much as $2 to $8, depending on where the rideshare picks and drops you off. Apparently, they just finished a automated people mover, which opens and increases the congestion in the central terminal area. So basically, there's two different areas now that you're going to be able to pick up. But it said even when the automated people mover opens, you'll still be able to get rides directly to and from the curbs along the horseshoe, but it will come with a $12 fee.
Oh, wow.
So they want you to use the people mover that puts you in a different spot. It's obviously all for congestion, right? So if you don't use that, then you're going to have to pay from $4 to $12 or whatever it was. It would apply to all taxi and limousine services. Obviously a little bit different because they are under a different fee structure, but it's stupid. You know what I mean? And of course Uber's trying to fight it and says that it's gonna like kill their business, and which I don't blame Uber for doing that. Like if you got to reduce your fee. You're trying to reduce fees for your customers.
Sure. Yeah. And people are going to get mad at Uber, even though it's not their fault. That's just how it goes. And that's a lot. That's a big convenience fee.
Yeah, I just don't understand, since you want people to use the people mover, and so you're going to penalize them for not doing it. So I don't know. Maybe it's more like they said congestion. Maybe it's for environmental things. I don't know. Who gives a shit? But so more fees coming to LA if you get a Uber or Lyft there. And then they mentioned at the end of the article, they're like, well, you can also just take a bus that we offer for free or something like that. And it's like, yeah, people aren't taking the fucking city bus with gangbangers in it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not happening. All right. So, this one. Yeah, I thought this was interesting. I kind of proud of this lady. We talked about how, it's people like a stopgap, and this is kind of part of that. So.
Yeah, this is an inspiring story. This lady, I guess she was living with her mom. She has a couple of kids, and she wanted a little more independence. Wanted to have some privacy, some space to her own, which I completely understand. But she wasn't sure how she was going to do it. So she was working as a kitchen prep cook for $11 an hour.
Yeah. Stop that. $11. Where? Is that the minimum wage wherever she's at? Because goddamn, $11 an hour, that's insane.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's all right. I agree. Yeah. So yeah, she talked about how that $11 an hour wasn't really enough to cover a $60 a night hotel, but she really was determined to make it work. So she started thinking, what else can I do for another stream of income? Especially she figured I can't afford a babysitter, if I get another job. So is there something I can do where I don't have to get a babysitter? So she had some friends that were delivering for DoorDash. She really thought, the flexible hours and being able to do it bring her kid along was really attractive. So she started trying out DoorDash and started doing those in the afternoons and early evenings. And her and her daughter had a lot of fun. They'd have fun when they're in a restaurant, or if there was a long wait, and she'd take her daughter out of the car and when they got there, and take her to the customer's door to do the drop off. So yeah, she was able to make enough money, most nights to pay the fee that she needed, the $60 for the hotel. But she talks about how one night she was worried, she was getting toward the end of her shift and she was about $20 short, and she didn't think she was going to make it that night. She wasn't sure what she was going to do. And she said, it's almost like a miracle. My last customer handed me a folded up bill as a tip, which I just assumed was a couple of bucks. And she said, but then to my amazement, it was a $20 bill. She said, I was actually recording a TikTok at the time, and that video went viral, getting 3 million views.
Dang.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, man, that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, she said a lot of people, saw what she was doing, and they were supportive and encouraging. They saw she had a willingness to work and not, she didn't want to just rely on, government benefits. She says, I even started donating plasma twice a week for $120. And then by November of that year, she'd built up enough money to start renting a mobile home for $950 a month. She said it really felt good to have a permanent place for Emery and me. And then her son, who had been staying he continued to stay with her mom while they were at the hotel or at the motel. He would come and stay on the weekends at the new mobile home. But she said, it's not all smooth sailing. Stuff happens, life happens, as we all know. Last month, her Jeep broke down for good. She didn't have means to drive. So she still started doing, continue doing DoorDash 4 times a week using her mom's car and trying to save up money to continue to just, grind it out and save up the money that she needs and kind of have the life that she wants.
Yeah, it's tough, when you're doing gig work and you're kind of hanging on by a thread and you have a vehicle, oh man, it's tough. Like, it just takes one little hiccup and it goes rolling back. And yeah, you got it. You definitely, I thought you were going to say, oh, she's renting a car. I'm like, no, not that.
No.
That is just like a payday loan at that point.
Yes.
So, Bubba Sue, I would never bring a kid working in the gig world. You got to do what you got to do, right? I know. I don't know if Bubba Sue has any kids. I don't think she does, but it's tough. It's tough. And if that's the only way you can pay your bills, you fucking do it. I applaud her for fucking getting it done, but I don't think I would do that, but I don't have to do it either. I didn't have to do it. But if I was destitute, I will work. I don't care what it is. I will pay the bills. It's going to happen. If I have to work, which I don't want to do, if I have to work 80 hours a week and I got to bring my kid with me, I'm going to make it work, whatever it is. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing that if you have other options, because it's dirty. I don't know if it's dangerous. Obviously you're not taking them on rideshare, but it's just dirty and gross, and you're touching carts and you're and yeah. So I guess anything can be dangerous, I guess, but good for her for fucking getting it done, because hey, no one wants to live in a motel, and if you got your own place, then that's great. So
yeah, again, I don't think it's a preference any of us would have.
No,
but we have that work ethic. If it's what had to be done to make it would be done. I think almost there. Our core group that we have in our Telegram group. I think most of them are like that. We would do what has to be done to pay our bills and get it taken care of.
And I'm just it's so cool that she has and people have the option to bring the kid if they need to, because you can't bring it to the factory job, you can't bring it to. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly. She was already working a full-time job during the day and paying a babysitter, and babysitters get expensive real quick.
Yeah. So hopefully she can find something more than $11 an hour for the W-2. So it should be used as a stopgap. You shouldn't, if you're not able to do it full-time, don't try to grind it out. You got to be smart, and you got to just be amazing with it. Otherwise it can fuck you.
Yeah, it can get rough for
Because
sure.
that
And
car breaks down and you're already
Exactly.
struggling. You're screwed.
Yeah, you're just one accident away from the house of cards collapsing on you.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was good. Waymo in the news. All right, we had so many Waymo videos to choose from. This is the one I chose, but I honestly, Larry and I pop a couple in a week, and so yeah, I don't quite remember this one. I think this one like kind of pulls out in front of a car, so we'll go ahead and play that.
The Gig Economy Podcast will be back after a quick break.
I'm April Hardy, crime victim advocate trained by Nova, founder of In Case I'm Murdered, and recent recipient of a $12,500 grant for intimate partner homicide prevention work. I've experienced domestic violence from both sides, as the employee whose performance suffered, and as the business owner who absorbed every cost directly. This is the Safe Work Advantage podcast that helps HR professionals and business leaders recognize risk, reduce liability, and protect their people.
Oh, we have to turn left? Oh, God.
I know. What the fuck? It's inching out. This is actually really scary. Oh my gosh, it's inching slowly. No, it's gonna go after this car.
It's not. It better not, because... Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Shit.
Holy shit.
And then just stop.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, it stopped in the middle of the lane, middle of the road, right in front of a car.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry.
Did you get that on video?
It's bad.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
That's like 8 lanes it's crossing.
Yeah.
The person's like praying for us.
Oh my god.
The person's like praying for us.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my
Did you get that on video?
Yes, I did. Oh.
So the thing about this, and for audio listeners, yeah, basically turning left, they stopped right in front.
Yeah, they were crossing like 8 lanes of traffic, and it pulled out into the just right out in the middle, and there was a car coming.
This is what I don't understand. When we have busy intersections, we just pull into the left turn lane. They didn't do that. Like if you pull in there, you just hold there, don't drive. I actually got pulled over for driving a little too much in one of those because like the traffic's so bad. Okay, I can beat the first 2 lanes, right? Then you just get in the left lane, you stop immediately and put your blinker on. Don't roll down it because then you're traveling in a turn lane, and that's what I got. I didn't get a ticket for it, but I got pulled over for it. I was actually delivering pizza for Jets back in the day when I got pulled over for doing that. Yeah, but why isn't Waymo? I mean, maybe because it's technically against the law to do that. Doing that maneuver if it wants to sneak out. I get what it's trying to do. Okay, it's clear I'm going to try to go.
Yeah. But when there's that many lanes of traffic,
yeah,
I mean, you can't pull like into the first 2 lanes and then just stop. And literally there was a car coming right at them. And
yeah,
luckily the guy, whoever was driving, was paying attention and they stopped. And I don't know if you could hear it. It's kind of faint in the video. The girl's like, "Oh, that driver's praying for us."
Oh yeah. I saw that. I didn't know what she was referencing, but yeah.
They were lucky that people were paying attention because they could have got T-boned very easily.
Right. So that's the thing. Like when it's doing that stuff, like every time. So we were so excited to go in the Waymo. I don't know if I'm signing up for that anymore. I mean, we've watched more than a handful. We've watched dozens of videos where it's been sketch.
Yeah. Hey, cash in on that money, something else.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as I don't die.
Yeah, as long as you don't die.
I mean, jeez,
yeah,
I don't.
That's a big if.
Yeah, I don't understand why it wouldn't just pull into the left lane and hold there. I mean, it does everything else fucked up. Why doesn't it just do that? I mean, that's so weird. Okay, I'm gonna pull out and just stop.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it didn't try to go backwards back into the street. That'd probably have been a better move than what it did.
Yeah, you wonder if it just was it over? You wouldn't think it would be overwhelmed by 8. I know 8 lanes. That's a lot of lanes.
Was it 8 lanes? I didn't.
I mean, I think I saw it somewhere in the comments.
Okay.
It was several lanes because when you're watching there, you can see. I mean, they crossed several lanes.
Well, it's at least 2 in a turn lane and 2 on the other side. I thought it was, but it doesn't matter. It's still busy.
Yeah, I think it was even more than that. It was several lanes they were coming across because he kept inching up, and they were still still cross. They were still perpendicular to the lanes.
That's the thing that's weird. It's wanting to get out because it's clear. I get that. Well, then you got to pull in the turn lane. You can't just fucking stop and just hope someone stops. Freaking menace. Okay, so this isn't really. I guess it's kind of a story. So apparently, New York, they have issued that you have to use the same bins now. New York's got a trash problem, I heard, right? So they just like throw their trash out in the street, and then the garbage men come pick it up. But apparently they've issued basically you have to have this. The bin is $55, and they're having it can be delivered through DoorDash, Instacart, or Uber Eats. The official said on Wednesday. So that's literally the story. But it's a shit show because the government's rolling it out, and the first company that they used for it went belly up, and so they're waiting to get the bins out. They're hoping to get them out by the end of March on that. But like some of the comments was like, Home Depot doesn't ship them, and Uber I gets them. I'm confused. I'm not tipping anybody, which that doesn't surprise me, but. So yeah, if you can now put a trash can now, at least it's clean. But I don't think I can put a bin unless they're like, I don't know how many gallons it said it was, but like, unless it's small, I'm not going to be able to fit that in my car. I don't even think you'd be able to fit that in your car. I mean, my trash bin's big.
Yeah. I don't know if that. I mean, it could. Part of it might go in the trunk, but it'd be hanging out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like you could throw it in the back of a pickup, but anyways. So yeah, apparently if you're in New York, you could get a request to
deliver them things by drones, man.
Yeah. Can you imagine that thing falling from the sky at disconnect? Oop. Yep. Sorry, kitty cat.
Sorry, kitty cat. It'd wipe out a crowd of people.
Yeah. See you in the next life.
Yep.
Larry's going to talk about Amazon Zook.
Yeah, so Amazon does own Zook. So Uber has made a deal with Amazon Zook for a robotaxi rollout. So the Zook's robotaxis are the Zooks that run, I guess around the strip there in New York and stuff. They're going to launch as rideshare robotaxis. So along with,
it's going to be Uber's brand or Zook.
It's going to, it says. Let's see here. Yeah, the largest rideshare company, Uber, is making a huge bet on the future of autonomous vehicles. The strategic partnership between the two brands will launch in Las Vegas and Los Angeles in mid-2027. Rideshare users will be able to use Zook's robotaxis for eligible rides via the Uber app. So, these vehicles are built specifically for ride hailing and designed for comfort, conversation, and connection. And then they just threw in some stats about, the future of rideshare. And these are from Gridwise, which we used them a lot for statistics. They're predicting that in the year 2030, autonomous ride sharing is projected to constitute approximately 10% of total rides. And by 2035, that will be up around 25% of total rides.
That's still pretty low.
For rideshare, yeah.
I'm surprised of those statistics. I mean, that's estimates, obviously.
Yeah, it is. It's an estimate because, as we can see, things can really ramp up quickly. Because we would mention autonomous cars here and there since we started rideshare. We always heard about it, and then it's all of a sudden, it's like, oh my, they're here.
Yeah,
and now we talk about them every week.
I do like the idea of the Zooks that you go out with friends and you can kind of sit and face each other.
Facing each other. You can have conversation, and it's more because the Uber or the Tesla robotaxi, the 2-seater. I still don't understand. I know they have the stats behind it all, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even if a regular car, like I used to drive an XL, and people would get in it, and like it'd be fun, but like
the people up front can't talk to the people in back unless you're yelling.
No, and you're if you're in the front seat, it's harder to turn around. There's a whole bunch of issues. So it's kind of like a mini like limousine service, but you get to hang out with your friend. I like that idea. I mean, if I was going out with a bunch of friends, I would order that over a regular Uber. Just so I could hang out.
The Zoox would be cool to ride. Like I said, again, it's got no steering wheel, no pedals. I'm not sure if I don't think they even have a front windshield. I can't remember.
Ooh, that'd be weird. Well, that's so funny. So bringing that up, one of our new buses at the old folks home, the way they set it up is that the people that are sitting down, like I sit low, they can't see out the front. Like it's just like a gray whatever so they hate it. They can't because you can't see out the windshield. I mean, you got the big windows on the side, but people like to look out the front, and not having that I don't know. You'd get used to it, I guess. But if I'm talking to my friends, I wouldn't really notice. But a lot of people get car sick when they can't see out the front.
Sure. Yeah, so I looked it up, the pictures. Yeah, the Zoox they do have the windshields, and again, they don't have a front end or a back end. They can go either way.
Yeah, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah, I always had somebody join our Telegram group.
So,
hey, Jonathan, if you're joining from listening to the podcast or watching us here, welcome to the group.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. Uber's always moving and shaking.
Yeah, but I like the Zoox. I would really enjoy trying that out.
Well, I think I'd be more comfortable because we don't hear anything about it. Like we don't. Oh, Zook ran over a cat. Zook, like you said, it's pretty on a like the same kind of pattern, which I get. But at least they're like getting all the bugs out, and then maybe they'll expand it a little bit more. And maybe they realize it's a lot harder than we think it is, and that's why.
Because I mean, could you imagine, us on our weekend trip with all our with our people, and if we could all fit inside a Zoox?
Oh my God, we would have so much. I mean,
it would be hilarious.
We'd be rolling dice in the middle.
Exactly, playing craps. There you go.
Yeah, we'd be like,
maybe needs a new pair of shoes.
Yeah,
come on now.
Yeah, freaking take all of John's money.
Exactly, we'd be playing horse race in the middle of the Zoox.
Did you see that one I sent in that group?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one commented on it. I'm like, that shit's funny. We should.
No,
that
was hilarious. That was a good one.
All right. Latest California-based gig work app lets people book content creators and editors. There wasn't much about this, but she's a content creator through an app called Social Agent, part of an expanding gig economy where more and more workers are trading stability for flexibility. Work that once required connections, planning, and a big budget can now be booked with a tap, extending the on-demand model from rides and meals to storytelling itself. So I guess I don't really understand what she did. I think she did looks like she went to a nursery and took some pictures, and basically she's like the social media person, but not on their payroll.
Right. Usually it's a gig.
Yeah.
It's another gig that you do. So these people don't have a need for somebody full time, but they might be having a big event, or they want to put together something like a year-end, video review of the year, or, lots of different reasons people would need something like that, but not full time. So this is just another gig for people to do if you're good at that.
It said a typical job runs about $200 with same-day delivery. Agents can earn about $50 an hour plus tips, and if the client already has footage, they can upload and have it turned into a finished piece. Looks like it's available in New York, Los Angeles, Miami. Obviously, other cities, slower rollout. So the only thing it says, it's like, so it says, as for Kurtz, after the shoot, she's headed straight to a nearby coffee shop where the clock is ticking. She had just over an hour to shape her raw material in the polished final cut. So I like the idea. I think it's great. You're right. I mean, all these small businesses, I see some of their TikTok videos and they're complete trash.
Yeah.
They're bad. Some of them are funny. Like some of the auto ones, like the salespeople, because guess what? Salespeople do when it's slow. They fucking make TikTok videos. So those are pretty good. But I can see, if it only costs $200 to do a little promo, I think it would be great. But all the editing and stuff, like, is she just putting it through an AI chat bot and just, you know what I mean? Because it's like, are you really like polishing it and editing it and spending time? I don't know. It just seems, I mean, $50 an hour ain't bad.
Now, yeah, who in our group would turn down $50 an hour plus tips?
No, none of us
Not a
would.
one of us.
But I mean, are you confident to take some raw footage and create it into a social media content? That's what I'm saying. You could go to AI and do it. You'd be like, you'd have to be, maybe not.
Yeah, you'd have to have some skills in that area.
Or have a subscription to an AI that, not the free version.
Right, yeah, with the watermark.
Yeah, well, just in general, that it only gives you a few options during the, few prompts, and then it locks you out for a certain amount of time.
Yep.
I like editing. I actually, when I'm creating my TikToks and stuff, I don't mind editing, but the creating the content all the time is, well, this is easy because we're just sitting here talking, but to come up with something ingenious is like, I'm not creative that way.
I'll have to show you. I'll send you through our Telegram. I'll send you the picture I made for my son for his birthday yesterday.
Was it AI?
Yeah, part of it, because he's a huge Superman fan, huge, and this is his actual dog and cat in the picture.
Is it?
Yeah, and I cropped it down there. I cropped out the watermark.
Oh, I see the watermark.
Well, yeah, I know, not in the one I sent to you, but the one I sent to him, I cropped it right above that.
Oh, okay.
To crop it out there. But it was funny is because I was creating that. And so, what it is, it's a picture. My son's a huge Superman fan. It was his birthday. There you go. And so I was trying to get AI to make this picture, and it kept coming up. Oh, copyright content.
Oh, because of Superman. Yeah.
Because of Superman. So I tried it on Grok and still same thing. So I was like, okay, it doesn't have to exactly be Superman. Just, I changed it to just make it a superhero costume. And this is what it put out.
No way.
Yes.
It knew it.
Me, can't do that. Can't do that. Can't do that. And then I give it a slightly different, and boom, it spits out exactly what it said it couldn't give me.
It knew that's what you wanted, but it can't have proof that says that they did it. You have to deny it. So when DC comes and sues them, they're like, look we denied it, and this is what he asked for, and so this is what I gave him.
Yeah. It was so funny though.
That is funny. I have one of my second tattoos is a Superman tattoo.
He's got the S on his arm.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah, he has it on his forearm.
Yeah, I hate it. I want to get it covered up.
He loves Superman. He's seen that new Superman movie like 7 times, I think.
Oh my gosh, I haven't seen a Superman movie in so long. So
yeah.
All right, so what do we got? 7 or 51. Okay, we got time. Mounting claims of identity theft by Uber drivers raise passenger safety concerns.
Yeah, so this is talking about fraud, identity theft. And the one thing it's mainly talking about here, California, because this story of CBS News California, and it did this investigation, and they mentioned right off the bat, they just talk about California has more rideshare drivers than any other state. Not surprising. Take a guess how many they have?
100,000.
800,000.
Shut the front door.
Isn't that wild?
800,000?
800 says more than 800,000 as of late 2025.
Oh my goodness. That is so crazy.
That is. And then it says, but consumer advocates and alleged victims say hundreds of those accounts may have been created using stolen identities just in order to bypass Uber's background checks. And the way that people are figuring this out is because these people are getting 1099s from Uber, and they've never driven for Uber.
Right.
And so this is just kind of a warning. Most of the people listen to our show are probably rideshare drivers or have done that. But if you haven't ever been worked for one of these gig companies and you get a 1099 from them, you might want to check into it.
Yeah.
Not that you probably have much luck, because the people in this story said they've reported it to Uber. They've tried to do everything they can, and they don't get anywhere with them. Uber doesn't care.
Yeah.
Their stuff's getting delivered, or people getting picked up. They don't care.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but it's obviously becoming more and more of an issue. But why is it though? This tech, I mean, I get it. Hackers are always ahead, but shouldn't Uber, they have unlimited resources? Shouldn't they be one step ahead of all these people?
You would think so.
I mean,
You
is
would
it
think
just so that like these hackers are just bored and they just figure it out and that, you know, they don't have this big company to back them? Like Uber should be working on this shit 24/7.
Yeah. But yeah, some of these people, talks about, they never worked for it. And they said that they received a 1099, showed that they'd made $7,000 in income over 2 months, even though they'd never worked, as a rideshare driver.
Yeah.
Another one got a 1099 for, 4,100. Another one got 1099 for 12,000 from Uber. She said the same thing happened to my husband 2 years ago. So yeah, there's using these people who are not able to get on the platform because they know they won't pass a background check. They're using other people's identity, and I guess they're not having to pay any tax because they're using.
Yeah, I mean
identity.
they're getting it tax free. I mean hopefully they'll eventually get tracked down. I mean, you start fucking with the IRS, they're gonna find you.
But I'd be pissed, if I had to end up having to pay tax on $10,000 in earned income that I didn't earn.
Well,
honestly,
honestly, I would just step up and not deal. I mean, I would try to deal with Uber, but I'd go right to the IRS and be like, "Hey," because they're not unreasonable if there's fraud involved. Meaning, like if you're the victim of fraud, they're going to work with you.
Way more chance of dealing with it on that side.
Yeah, and that's what you really want, right? Is you want to not have to worry about the taxes, and it's better to get it right away, start talking about it, then deal with it 2 years later when you have this outstanding bill that you didn't pay, and then they come after you, and then it's already a cluster F.
Yeah. Say, hey, I didn't make this, don't make me pay taxes on it, but put it toward my Social Security.
Yeah, for sure. Of course. So this last thing, this was kind of funny. This, oh God, I can't read that. That's small. So it was a DoorDash conversation, and
this was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. The customer says, "Jason, you're going completely the opposite of my location. Jason, you're going completely opposite of my location." Blah blah blah. Keeps says it a bunch of time. Then a little bit later, he sends it again, and then the driver says, "Turkey Lake Road was blocked. GPS is giving me a longer route." And he says, "Jason, I believe in you." And then Jason, I'm like, "Dude, are you drunk?" But he said the road was easy to get to the customer location the road to easily get to the customer location was blocked off by construction. The GPS gave me a longer alternative route. I assume this guy was freaking out because he kept sending the same message like 15 times. Yeah. I also don't understand what he meant by "I believe in you." I'm like, what the fuck? Relax. It's not Navy SEALs mission I'm handling here. So just kind of funny. My guess is that guy was drunk or something.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, and then I had your name on it, so it was like,
well, of course. Should we have played it off that it was me?
Yeah. I wonder if that was up near Cincinnati, because I remember up there, there's a Turkey something road up there, because I used to pass it all the time when I was going to visit my son when he was going to school.
Oh, there's got to be a shit ton of Turkey roads.
I'm sure there is. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I just remember because when he was up there, I did Uber up there for like 3 days, and I remember I was like, man, I keep going down I keep seeing this road, this dang Turkey Hill Road or Turkey, whatever road it was.
Yeah. Oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm sure there's 8 million of them.
Right. Patreon.com/the GiggyCon podcast will be on live there in about 12 minutes. So you can join 7-day free trial for that. Any gig work this weekend, Larry?
Yeah,
probably not.
Well, we'll see. As long if I can stay healthy, and I have to see how my wife is. She is not doing well right now. May need to stay home and take care of her. But if things are going well and she's doing okay, I would like to get out and do some gig work.
Okay, yeah. For me, nothing this weekend. I got Laugh Fest this week, where I volunteer. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the last year.
Is it? How many years have you done that?
Well, it's not last for me. I think they're going to be done doing it. I think 8 years. Yeah, it's just kind of run its course. And even they were considering even doing it this year, but it's the 15th anniversary. So I think they're going to do the anniversary year. And then
that's the big send off.
Yeah, it's run its course. Comedy's changed in 2026 from back when they started. The internet's changed a lot of things. And so, yeah, it's still a pretty decent fundraiser, but there's so much overhead on that and a lot of work and money spent just to get the comedians here. So it can be challenging. But anyway, so I'm doing that for a couple of days. And then Saturday, I'm volunteering for the Pit Bull Alliance at Irish off Ionia. So I know you've heard us talk about that, driving for that. It's not on Ionia anymore. It's down by Calder Plaza. But the Pit Bull Alliance, we run bars there, kind of like we did for Upheaval. I don't know if you remember talking about that. Yeah. So I'll be pouring drinks for a bunch of drunk people and bros getting sick and barfing all over the place. Megan and I bet how over and under how many times I see a person puke, and I was saying she thinks over 5. I was going to go the under. I'm going to be there all day, but yeah, there's a lot of inexperienced drinking on St. Patty's Day. So, well, it's not St. Patty's Day, but St. Patty's Day weekend.
Yeah, when is St. Patty's Day?
Next week, Tuesday, I believe.
Tuesday. Yeah, it sucks. They do. It's every year that the next week is WKU is their spring break. And so St. Patty's Day always falls during their spring break, so it's never as busy. I think like when we first started driving for Uber, I think their schedule is a little different because I remember the first couple of years doing Uber, man, it was really busy.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, hey, have you never experienced a St. Patty's Day puke fest? Because like, god dang.
No, my big St. Patty's Day event was the time that girl dropped her drawers and pissed outside my car. That was on St. Patty's Day at about 10 o'clock.
Damn. Well, this Irish on Ione thing, they start drinking at 7. I think the event opens at 10, like 7 a.m. I remember like you could do morning runs, and these people, they weren't like shitty, but like they had had breakfast, they had, Bloody Marys or whatever the morning alcohol drink is, and they were heading down there, and it doesn't matter if it's hot, cold. It's supposed to be like 40, high of 42. So
oh, wow.
I'm gonna be gearing up. I'm gonna be bringing a lot with me just in case it gets cold or it gets hot or whatever. So I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'll be working so much I'll be sweating my ass off, or because if you stand still when it's cold, you're screwed.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't know that we have anything that people start drinking that early here. In Bowling Green. We do have like the Bourbon Fest, but it's usually like starts around noon or something.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Well, as always, don't put up with anyone's bullshit.
We'll see you on the road.
All right. Good night.
Hey, good night, everybody.